Hey, how's it going? This is Chris, and I want to welcome everybody back to the channel. This topic today is going to be something I think everybody can benefit from. If you're trying to build some muscle or build strength, whatever your goal is in the gym and in fitness, I think this topic will help as it relates to muscle. And we're going to be talking about how many sets per body part per week you should be aiming to hit. Because let's face it, not all of us want to go to the gym and spend hours and hours and hours each session, and we want to get it as efficiently as we can without spending too much time extra than we need to and still have a life. Get home and enjoy summertime or enjoy family, whatever you want to do, right? So let's jump in the topic. But before we do, I want to ask everybody, hey, like the video, add a comment if you found something helpful, and if you didn't, let me know so we can address it here at the channel. And go ahead and hit the subscribe button and turn on your notifications so that you can know when a new video is popping up. All right, so on to the topic. So let's talk about why sets are important for muscular development. And the short answer is sets are a crucial component for resistance training as they determine the amount of volume that your muscles are exposed to each session. And that session is going to be included over the course of a week and over the course of months, so on and so forth. So once you find the optimal number of sets, you can help increase and maximize the amount of muscular development and growth that you have. So all right, so what we're going to start off by doing is dividing the body up into the upper part and the lower part. So we're going to start with upper body. That's going to include your chest, back, shoulders, and arms. Now, a good rule of thumb is for your smaller muscle groups, you're going to do less, you need less sets per week than you would for larger groups. So as it relates to your upper body, your back is going to be the largest muscle group that you have. And so you want to be aiming for somewhere around 10 to 15 sets per week. Now, if you're newer to lifting, you're probably going to want to stay closer towards that 10 sets per week. And as you become more experienced, you're going to start creeping more towards that higher amount of sets per week. Now, I'm sure if you're anything like me, you're going to at first hear 10 to 15 sets and you're going to think that might be 3 or 4 exercises each. But here's the truth. You don't need much more than that to grow. The point of getting in the gym isn't to grow in the gym. The purpose of lifting a weight and resistance training is to provide a stimulation for the body to need to adapt and get bigger and get stronger. So 10 to 15 sets is going to be adequate for almost everybody to get in the gym and work their back and see some growth. Now, you'll probably be shocked to hear that for your the rest of your upper body, you probably only need about 8 to 12 sets per week. So this includes, like I said, your chest, shoulders, and arms. Why? Well, those muscles are they're smaller than the other muscle groups, and they also end up getting a lot of additional reps. So in order to prevent overtraining, it's best that you stay within these rep ranges. All right. Again, we're talking about being efficient. We're talking about individuals that want to get in, get the biggest bang for their buck without having to spend all day in the gym. And if that sounds like you, continue to listen. Now, if we move into the lower body, well, having a lot of large muscle groups like your quads and your hamstrings, those are going to be able to take more of a beating. So 10 to 15 sets per week is going to be sufficient for most people to get in the gym and see some growth. You don't need to completely destroy the body and limp out of the gym every session, right? This is about, again, being efficient. Now, the glutes, on the other hand, is something that you can tone down the sets per week on and go back to that 8 to 12 sets. Is really good, and your glutes are almost always working in your other leg workouts as well. So let's recap some of this information. If you are a beginner, you want to stay towards the lower end of the range. It's also important that when you're doing each set, make sure you're taking those sets close to failure. I suggest 1 to 3 reps shy of failure, and that will be an effective set for you. One of the reasons people are in the gym and they're able to do 20 and 30 sets per workout and still not feel enough is because they're not taking each set to failure. If you take your sets close to failure, well, by the time you get to 10 to 12 sets, you're going to be fatigued enough that you don't want to do anymore. That's how you know that you're lifting properly. Each of those sets should be hard, okay? You're not going to the gym just to lift fluff weights and get a pump all the time. If you want growth, you need to be pushing the body in order to adapt. Again, understand that smaller muscle groups don't need as much work and as much volume as larger muscle groups. Those larger muscle groups will include stuff like your back, your hamstrings, and your quads. And if you follow these simple principles, I assure you that you will find growth without having to spend hours and hours and hours every day in order to find some progress. So, like I said before, if you found this to be helpful, leave a comment, share the video, you know the whole YouTube spiel. Subscribe to the channel to continue to get more info, and I will be back with the next video. All right,